rights. This is one thing I wanted to say too. We need to stop giving shooters due process. Mass shooters should not have due process. They need to be skipped to the front of the line, and it needs to be dealt within 1 week or less. All of this stuff can be stopped if we put the right things in order, and that's one of them.
One of the big things that came out, we spoke to Joe Spencer of Chris, and he said that the shooter is mentally ill. I mean, he was a family member. Do you feel that that's part of those shooter rights, part of the stuff that's protecting him?
Let me tell you something. Mental illness is not a factor and is not something that is an excuse or is not something for anybody to feel sorry for the shooter. There's a lot of mentally ill people out there. And does that give everybody that's mentally ill the excuse to go around and shoot people? No. What they're doing is they're reaching right now because the case is over. The shooter's attorneys are about to get their last paychecks. And they're just trying to make a little more of a circus out of it, and let them, because it's about to be done.
You mentioned the angel who carried your mom out into an ambulance. Have you been able to speak with them at all during that time?
No, that's the thing is, when all of this happened, we were immediately just told, just stay quiet, it'll be fine. Okay, year 1, fine, we'll stay quiet, fine. Okay, year 3, all right, can we talk now? Oh, nope, still stay quiet. All right, year 4, what's going on? Nope, definitely stay quiet this year. Year 5, nope, still stay quiet. That, we have not been able to properly mourn. We have not. And to be perfectly honest, our community hasn't been able to properly mourn because our community doesn't know half of the things that we are going through behind the scenes. And once they do understand and realize, it'll give them some insight and it'll give them some closure too. But yeah, everything was just horribly mishandled.
Christopher, in the court cases, has it been fair? Like, because we know there's a lot of victims that don't understand English.
Mm-hmm.
Was
Yes.
there translation in there? I mean,
Yes.
Some people were saying that they weren't really understanding what was going on.
No, yes, there was translation available. Yeah.
And why was it important for you to come forward today? I mean, I know you talked a lot about the gag order, and why was it important for you to come forward?
You know what? Because of my family, and because of the other families, I care a lot. Not only, obviously, I love my family, but, I love all the other families that this happened to. And, I love our community. And I also think about the community and how they're not aware and they don't know. If you don't know what's going on, you don't know how to help. And that's something that the court system, the attorneys, all the gags and all that, they were very, very, very good at silencing, and instead of bringing us together, tearing us apart. There's 45 of us. I've spoken to most of them, but I wish that we had something to where we could all come together and just be stronger. I wish that would have happened years ago, but here we are.
One thing I did notice is there was a certain family that was saying they were told something behind closed doors, but then he came out on public saying something else completely different, and then that's the day
Who?
that the DA said there's no more death penalty seeking. So would you say that they were transparent with y'all, like properly transparent, the DA's office, or was there a lack of transparency at all?
The DA's office is a whole situation on its own. From Yvonne Rosales, man, she is a horrible person. And so she started the mess, but the other two, Hicks and what's the new one? Montoya, they didn't do much better. They didn't do much better at all. Very, very, very disappointing. Very disappointing, very disheartening, very sad to see how broken this whole system is. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Montoya said that his decision to not pursue it was based off of what families had told him. Do you agree with that decision? Do you think that's what the right move was?
Well, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and say yes or no because this state case should have never happened. So to me, that's irrelevant because all I wanted was for him to be tried, and he was federally tried, and he got his sentence. So there was no absolutely no need to get into this. It was all, I'm thinking money, notoriety, people wanting to, this is the biggest case in El Paso history. So of course the judge wanted to jump on it. Of course all these people wanted to have this in our community. That's disgusting, by the way. That's a disgusting decision to have made. But it does make me happy that it's gonna be over. Because to be honest, I don't think about the shooter. He doesn't affect me one bit. What affects me is continually having to go through this, continually having to go through the courts, continually having to see him on the news. And think about the families. We watch the news stations, we watch you guys. So just when you're making a story, just really think about them, because they were really left in the dirt with gun wounds, with no families.
Do you feel the victims have rights? Like they had rights or not? Is that what you're saying?
No, our rights, everything was taken from us. Everything was taken from us.
Is there anything else? And lastly, anything that you would like to add that you think it's important for us to?
Or maybe we didn't touch on?
Do you have a message for Montoya?
No, I don't have a message for Montoya. I just have a message for, no, I don't, actually. I don't.
I did want to ask, you said you had been in direct contact with about 10 of the other families, and are you kind of voicing their opinions about this as well, or is this specifically just like...
No, I'm going to say this is me and my family. I do encourage the other victims in their own time to come out, to speak. I think it's very important. It's therapeutic. It also helps the community know what you personally went through, what happened, so that people know and we can be aware. The only way that we can change things is if we bring light to the situation. And what happened here was horrible. It was disgusting. And so the fact that it's about to be over, death penalty, no death penalty, whatever, let's just kind of focus on it being over, and we can all get to the next thing, because there is more things to come.
What do you want the next, like, for you and your family personally, what is kind of the next step in terms of trying to...
Well, we are still, this is the first part of justice, okay? So we got justice. This guy's gonna be in jail forever, 99 life sentences, he's never getting out. And oh, by the way, for the people who are saying, oh, I wanted the death penalty because my tax dollars, you have to remember, if a person is on death row, it takes 30 to 40 years for them to die and get killed. So your taxpayer dollars are gonna be spent either way. I just wanted to say that because I did hear people talking about that. So.
And I'm sorry if I'm making you repeat yourself. You already mentioned this, but just to put it into perspective, if he did get the death penalty, it would have been more waiting around for the families. It would have been, again, more court dates. Can you kind of put that into perspective, just how difficult it would have been for families?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the mental health of the victims and survivors, and not talk about the mental health of the shooter. Let's have a story about that. I want you guys to put a story out about that. The mental health of the survivors and their families, they're suffering. It's something that can't be explained really unless you go through it. But I can tell you this, that our daily lives have been forever changed. Things like, for some, going to the store, feeling unsafe, depression, anxiety, PTSD, not trusting, feeling like this is never gonna end, feeling like every single day you're seeing on the news another delay, another violation of the shooter's rights. So let's start talking about how the mental illness is affecting the families, the survivors. Those are the people that we need to be talking about. We don't need to put a news thing out about the shooter's mental illness, because who cares?
And April 21st, that's when the hearing will be. How are you and your family preparing for that day?
I really try not to prepare. I'm pretty numb to it all at this point. But we'll just go. We will watch it, finish it, and when we walk away, we will be walking away from the first part of our justice, because there is more things that need to come, and they will come out. It's just right now I'm not at liberty to say.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. God bless.
And then we'll just take those mics from you. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
What did you guys